Are you still favoring Crawford in the fight, or has your opinion changed?
I mean, I've always favoured Canelo in the fight.
Well, I know that you want Canelo to win, but you feel...
Of course, yeah. I like Terence. I've worked a lot with Canelo, and I think just because of what I saw in Riyadh and because of the threat, and he's getting on as well, Crawford, but it's just like the mindset of Crawford. Like, there's no doubt in Terence Crawford's mind that he wins this fight. And when you spend a bit of time with him, you kind of start buying into that. And I guess that's what happened in Riyadh, because I travelled with him to the fight, and but it's a 50-50 fight. I think gun to head, I'm probably picking Crawford right now. But I want Canelo to win, and he can win for sure. But Terence is going to make it really tricky and awkward for him. And I don't think he's going to like that kind of fight.
Good fight. If 168 pounds, I think it's Canelo, but it's Canelo better technique, because 50-50. If 12 rounds, Crawford win, I think. If knockout, it's Canelo.
What makes Crawford so difficult to fight against?
Terence Crawford has undergone a dramatic physical transformation, transforming into a formidable opponent ahead of his potential showdown with Canelo Álvarez. The buzz around this mega fight is growing, and even boxing legends are weighing in. Renowned trainer-turned-analyst Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts with Fight Hub TV, expressing deep respect for Crawford's mindset and abilities. "Very few people challenge themselves like he does," Atlas said. "I'm not betting against that guy. Father Time might catch him, but I don't think a weight class can." Atlas hinted that Crawford's relentless drive and southpaw skills could give him the edge, even against a powerhouse like Canelo.
Who's getting better. He's improved recently. I think he still needs more seasoning, but I see an improvement in him. He is a talented...
It's a huge challenge because Canelo is a tremendous fighter, bigger, stronger, with power and timing. But size alone won't win it. Crawford, despite being smaller, always finds a way. He'll craft a game plan that forces Canelo to rely on his size, turning it into a potential weakness rather than an advantage.
Canelo Álvarez thinks you're not a 54-pounder. In other words, you say, nah, he's too small.
That's his take. There's a reason why Israel was so respectful in the fight. Anytime I let my hands go, he would grab me or move. For the bigger guy, you should have been walking me down. You should have been bullying me. Canelo can say what he say.
He just doesn't feel like you're a 54-pounder. He believes that.
Heading into their September super middleweight showdown, Terence Crawford knows the deck is stacked against him, and he wouldn't have it any other way. To take on Mexico's pound-for-pound icon Canelo Álvarez, the Nebraska native must jump 2 full weight divisions, conceding natural strength to a man who has terrorized opponents at 168 pounds for years. Oddsmakers have responded by installing Bud as an underdog for the first time in his 17-year professional journey, an unfamiliar label that only sharpens his edge. Yet look beyond the raw poundage, and the matchup becomes far less lopsided. Crawford stands a shade taller at 5'8" and owns a 4-inch reach advantage, physical dimensions that have spelled doom for countless rivals. Though he is 37, 3 years Canelo's senior, his odometer reads considerably lower. 25 fewer bouts and 263 fewer rounds have spared him the accumulated ring wear that erodes timing and reflexes. On paper, the challenge is monumental, but Crawford's subtle advantages suggest a chess match rather than a mismatch. Doubt fuels his focus, and history shows he thrives amid adversity. Terence Crawford insists his mission against Canelo Álvarez is victory, not destruction. "I don't have to stop him, I just have to beat him. I'm not hunting the knockout, although it could definitely happen," he told The Ring in an in-depth interview. Crawford views Canelo as a smaller, bigger guy, someone who bulked up through divisions yet still relies on reflexes honed at lighter weights. Heavy super middleweights, he explained, swing slower. They might clip Canelo, but he usually sees the blow coming and rolls with it because his foundation was built amid faster, sharper opposition. Crawford believes he brings that same quick-trigger pedigree into the ring despite climbing the scale himself. Recently, he stoked social media by posting a photo of a readout showing 186 pounds. Asked his present weight, the Nebraskan burst into laughter and answered, 140. The anecdote underscored his confidence. Mass can fluctuate, but speed and craft remain his real weapons on fight night.
So every time I see him, he'll come and be like, Canelo. You're out. Yeah, you know how Billy do it too. Yeah. I'll be like, man, come on, man. Yeah. So every time he say that, you know, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at him, like, okay. And he's not that big. You know, he heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it's...
Terence Crawford launched his pro career in 2008 at 137 pounds, swiftly capturing a lightweight belt before sweeping every championship at 140 and 147. After battering Israel Madrimov last summer, he now rules the World Boxing Association's 154-pound division. Meanwhile, Canelo Álvarez debuted in 2005 as a 15-year-old 139-pound sensation and has since captured crowns at 154, 160, 168, and 175. If he beats William Skull on May 3rd in Saudi Arabia, he will become a two-time undisputed super middleweight champion. Crawford cautioned, if Canelo gets tagged by a sharp punch he never sees, he's definitely capable of being hurt. Both fighters share ferocious ring IQ, but Crawford believes raw speed still trumps sheer punch resistance.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
Canelo isn't a machine. He's human, just like me. He bleeds, feels pain, and can be hurt. I won't enter believing I'm powerless, but I'm also not headhunting for a knockout. My priority is to box my fight. If a finishing shot presents itself, I'll seize it. Remember, Canelo's only defeats came against Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. He faced Mayweather back in 2013 when he was still a rising prodigy. Many analysts say my style mirrors Floyd's: quick feet, slick counters, surgical precision. If Canelo conquers me, he'll demonstrate how far he's evolved since that night. If he doesn't, history may simply repeat itself for him, and my belief is it likely will unfold again.
I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter, and I always say that. No disrespect him, but you know, sometimes it's a little crazy that people talking about a small fighter like Charlo. He's big, which he is big, and everybody's talking about if I'm gonna face Crawford.
In an interview with Buey, former world champion Barry McGuigan didn't hold back when discussing the upcoming Canelo versus Crawford bout. He stated bluntly, "I think Crawford needs to get back to his old self, specifically with his punching power and timing." McGuigan emphasized that rediscovering those strengths is crucial for Crawford's chances.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
Barry McGuigan described Terence Crawford as an old-school fighter, drawing comparisons to legends like Sugar Ray Robinson. Known for his pinpoint timing, Crawford makes opponents miss by inches before unleashing precise counters. However, McGuigan emphasized that against Canelo, Crawford must adapt. To neutralize Canelo's power early, Crawford will need to move in and out of range swiftly, never staying planted long enough to become a target. McGuigan warned that standing still or trying to trade punches early could prove disastrous. Canelo prides himself on drawing you into a war, he noted. Crawford can't afford that. Instead, Crawford must remain elusive and clever, using lateral movement and head feints to avoid the kind of trench fight that would favor Canelo's power and pressure. Staying disciplined is key.
Canelo's now 10-0 at super middleweight, but largely untouchable at this weight class. Why do you believe that you're the man to knock him off?
That's why. That's why everybody gonna come and watch September 12th.
Good luck on September 12th.
Barry McGuigan advises Crawford to watch for the moment Canelo fades, then hit the gas and trade. Meanwhile, former champion-turned-commentator Tim Bradley has mounted his soapbox, imploring Canelo Álvarez to grant Terence Crawford the super fight he craves. At 37, Crawford is desperate for the bout yet has not locked it in, partly because, critics argue, he has avoided slogging through the bigger sharks at 168 and 175 pounds. Bradley insists the unified super middleweight king should stop running from Crawford, even though many observers believe Álvarez stands to gain little from the contest. No belts, no legacy boost, only risk. Cynics frame it as Crawford's golden parachute, a lucrative payday that would let him glide into retirement, swap Omaha winters for Beverly Hills sunshine, and enjoy his golden years on plush estate grounds. For Canelo, the risk-reward equation may not justify the endeavor in conventional business terms alone.
It's disrespectful for Crawford to call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That being biggest fight possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
It's crazy when you asking about that because you say, your Machado is coming out with other weight classes and he's welterweight. So don't make sense. But if the fight made sense, why not?
A lot of people have him at number one.
And you can see the same tendencies that Canelo has now, but he's a lot older now. But I just think that Terence has more skills than Lara. And I think he can do more. And you're saying that, Canelo.
Terence Crawford, critics argue, may have finally bumped against the ceiling of his multi-division ambitions, judging by his ragged August 3rd showing against WBA junior middleweight titleist Israel Madrimov. Throughout that bout, he looked alarmingly aged, repeatedly eating Madrimov's looping right hands and never dialing into his usual rhythm. After such a labored performance, skeptics wonder why Canelo Álvarez would even entertain sharing a ring with him. Yet former champion Tim Bradley refuses to accept any excuses. Canelo, don't run from this, Bradley challenged on his YouTube channel. You already ducked Benavidez. Clearly you're happy strolling through Mexico ignoring the noise. People think you avoided that fight. Prove them wrong by signing Crawford. Everyone wants it, and it gives Bud the stage to demonstrate his greatness. Bradley's plea casts the matchup as more than business. It is a chance for Álvarez to silence doubters and for Crawford to cement his legacy, aging optics notwithstanding, before both legends fade away.